Hey guys, Mike Healy here. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedules to view this presentation. We're excited today to have our gentleman from STS Wireless Consulting on here, one of our verticals with Bidpoint. What we wanted to do here is kind of just give you a more of a deeper understanding of who our partnerships with, what the benefits of for the agents that we have, our advisors, the process, how it kind of works. And so we're going to go into this. What I want to do is I'm going to bring on my partner, Rick Moore, on here to kind of tell you how this partnership came about, because it's become one of our favorite verticals for ourselves as a company, but most importantly for our team, for the reps out there, because they're really having some great success with what these guys bring to the table, how they're able to get deals done for us and so on. So Rick Moore, why don't I throw it over to you, buddy?
Well, thank you, Mike. Appreciate you taking the time to get together and talk about the wireless program, because it is something we're excited about, and it's also, we feel like, something that's really unique in our space. We don't really come across a lot of competition in this space, and some of what Stephen and Earl, the guys at STS, have put together here, they generate and show significant savings almost every time they get the chance to operate inside of really any kind of a business that qualifies, for what their service is. So, Stephen and I connected several years back, and once I got my head around what they were doing, and once I saw some of the results they were getting in quite a variety of businesses, and Stephen and Earl will be talking about that. But it's continued over the course of time that they demonstrate just an extraordinary amount of savings potentially for any kind of a business. And they don't have to be a huge business, but they could be any size, and they can really handle any size business. So it's a very unique service for us. So I'm excited that they get to share kind of with the public a little bit, what it is that they do, and the wide variety of businesses they can service. And we feel like we're just really in the beginning of what we could do. There's just a ton of potential with this, with the program of wireless.
So Rick, before we throw it over to these guys, for anybody new watching this, let's clarify that really one of the things that Bidpoint does is we have advisors that go out there, pretty much on their own schedule, and they find and connect us with businesses in different verticals like gas and electric, waste, wireless, that kind of thing. And so what we do is we basically, as long as if you're watching this and you want to be one of our agents, or you already are, all you got to do is get our foot in the door with some of these businesses. And what we do basically at no charge is we help these businesses locate places that they're typically being massively overcharged. And then we we pay the reps for the kind of the referral. So Rick, back to you, because I wanted to just make sure we clarify that as to what the process is. So go ahead.
Right. No, and it really is a very simple process. In fact, they've streamlined the process here with SDS Wireless in such a way that it really is simply a handoff. And, one of the most important things that a Bidpoint rep wants to know is, I've got my personal connections here. I've got people that I've got relationships with, and I want to be able to trust the whole process of what I'm taking somebody through. And the team at SDS has done not just an amazing job in generating savings for clients, but also getting our reps up to speed and kind of walking them through it's a simple process on the front end, but I think once somebody's worked through the process with SDS as a Bidpoint rep, they're more than comfortable to show the program of this wireless cost reduction to the people that they know in business.
Perfect. Why don't I jump in and let me introduce these gentlemen so that they're ready to roll, because we're going to have them monopolize the rest of the our call here, our Zoom. Why don't you guys, so Steve and Earl, why don't you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves for people that are out there, kind of how you guys started this, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Absolutely. Well, Earl has a little head start on me since he was born 2 years before I was, but I started working in the wireless business 21 years ago, shortly after the bag phone phenomena with Nextel, and worked with both Sprint, AT&T, and was a sales manager with Verizon. And about 12 years ago, I started doing wireless cost reduction. And at that time, it was all about counting minutes. How much minutes were you using? How many more off-peak were weekends and nights? And we separated them out But it's all evolved now to where we're now identifying data, and most of our savings comes from data. So we're able to take a company's wireless account and to audit it in a way that we find out what the real pricing should be for their usage. And data usage has great variety of amounts and needs based on the individual. And so what we found is all of the individuals are buying the same plan, but there's a great difference in how much data they're using. So we match the user's actual needs of data to the best price plan and that we've been able to save our customers very significant money doing this. Typically, we save them around 35%, and we've never saved a customer less than 20%. Wow. So our only income from this is a portion of the savings. And we've been fairly successful, but recently we were talking to a customer that we have talked to a number of times, a prospective customer that we've talked to a number of times, and we just could not get them to come over and sign the contract. So we knocked down every objection we could possibly think of. And finally, I just came out and said, well, what's the holdup? You know, we can save you money. That's quantifiable. We've proven it with every customer we have. We've given you lots of references. You can talk to any customer we have, and they'll say, you need to work with these guys. They've taken care of us through COVID. They've taken care of us good times and the bad times. And why will you not do it? And he finally said, well, it's the time. I don't have the time to deal with this. And I don't need a project that's going to take more time. And that's where Earl, who I'm going to turn this over to, and he's going to tell you a little of his background and how we pointed out the fact that we're not going to just save you money, we're going to save you time. And that's more valuable to some of our prospects than the money. Yep. Earl?
Well, actually, my background is in accounting. I was a public accountant for about 25 years. Ended up working for a large motorcycle / water vehicle company. And as I was helping my brother with the reporting portion of his business, I was involved in this conversation with the client to which he was referring earlier. And I was actually embarrassed that I had not thought of this earlier. And that is, when we do the reporting on this audit that we do, we can actually provide the client or customer with all of the detailed accounting information they need to post their accounts to the AP journal. And one of the things that I think a lot of people are concerned about is when we get this complex audit report to them, how are they going to interpret it? How are they going to double check it? How are they going to figure out how to charge the proper accounts and the proper cost centers? And that can be a very time-consuming monthly job that they have to do. So in some instances, they feel like, well, we'd love to save money, but we just don't want to get ourselves into a situation where our monthly requirements for figuring this whole thing out is going to be overwhelming. What we have worked on is providing a reporting for them, which would give them a one-page summary that explains the savings, explains the amount that we are invoicing them for. But we can go further. We can give them the actual accounts payable journal entry that they need to post to separate those costs out to every single cost center or department or however they assign these costs. They can do it simply directly from our worksheet. They can also properly record our invoice by cost center or subdivision as they see fit. And they will be able to then double check our numbers based on the reports that we have. So they can either do a thorough review each month, or once they get comfortable with the reporting we give them, they can simply take our reports and post all of this information. And this really should overcome any objection they have as far as time requirements, because in fact, they will be spending less time each month reviewing their wireless bill, and they'll be saving money. And I think Stephen came up with the proper term for this, and
We're going to save you time and pay you for it. So
Nice.
it's very unique. And in some instances, the time savings is more significant to certain individuals, maybe the person that's doing the work, than it is to the people that are actually more sensitive to the savings. And we've always been able to quantify the savings, but we can now quantify the time savings as well. So there really literally is no reason for anyone to not let us look at their account. So one of the things we offer, Mike, is we will do a free audit. They'll give us access to their account, and they can give us view-only access. Doesn't matter what carrier it is.
I want you to keep, sorry to interrupt you. I want you to keep going on this point, but I want to ask you, as I'm looking at it as an advisor.
Gotcha.
So I'm out there, and what's my ideal client that I would be looking for, just on top of your head?
A hospital.
Perfect. Okay, so let's say I have a friend that is the CFO of the hospital or something like that, somebody that's the decision maker. I'm going to go to the hospital, that person, and tell them that you guys, or I can through you guys, give them a free audit to find out if they're losing money or being overcharged on their accounts, correct? Their wireless accounts.
Absolutely.
And then if they agree, what's my next process then? So if I came back, what am I going to do then?
Well, after we go back and we look back as far as 12 months. So we
Okay.
want to know exactly what their usage is, what their historical usage is. We don't want to take 1 month and hope that that's going to be their normal usage. So once we attain that, then we bring that savings to them and tell them, okay, we've audited your account. We feel very confident that we can save you at least 30% on your monthly wireless charges.
What would like real quick? What would 30% to a hospital, like because you've done a few of these obviously already? What's that kind of dollars and cents?
Yes,
Term?
absolutely.
Like what would that?
We did a very medium-sized hospital. We saved a hospital with 125 beds, $60,000 a year off their wireless account.
That's amazing. That was just money that they were wasting. That's just money that they were spending for no apparent reason. 60,000.
Free money. We gave them free money and saved them time.
Wow. Okay, keep going. So the process is you guys do go ahead, Earl. I know you're going to say something. Go ahead.
I think the thing is that Stephen has the experience in the business and with the various carriers that he can go in there and do a very detailed line-by-line examination. And he is aware of the best plans or combination of plans to use in order to minimize their bill. Now, even experienced accounting people, people in IT who often get handed the responsibility for reviewing the phone bills and managing that, unless they have the years of experience that Stephen has actually going in and being aware of which plans are appropriate, which plans will get them the best overall pricing, they're simply not capable of doing that. Maybe if they spent years and years studying it, they would be able to figure it out. And I'm no doubt there's intelligent, smart people out there, but nobody has the time to sit down and figure this thing out from ground zero.
Right.
So Stephen can, by using good old Excel spreadsheets and a lot of hard work and a lot of experience, he can figure out what the very best pricing is going to be. We can provide that to the customer, and we can actually reduce the amount of time that they spend every month looking at their billing and trying to figure out how to record it and how to charge the proper work centers or sub-accounts or divisions and splitting that bill up. So this is a double win for them. It saves them a lot of clerical time and it saves them a lot of money.
And if I was the employee at that hospital that got that savings, that'd be probably the best time for me to go ask for a raise, since I just showed them I freed up a lot of money, right?
Absolutely. And you have a little bit of extra time to do other things
And I got extra time to do that. I mean, that's kind of nice that you guys are not only saving people money, but you're making some of these employees, the decision makers, look a lot smarter than they might be with this service. So it's fantastic.
It truly is. And it's a win-win. They save money. They have less responsibilities for having to audit the wireless bill. And we're constantly looking for savings. This is not a one and done thing. We have a medical equipment company that started adding a lot of devices, and they were adding locations. So once those devices had been on the bill for at least 6 months, we go back and re-audit those and get them new savings on the new devices, because the carrier is always going to put them on a plan that brings the most revenue to them. We go in there and take that revenue and give it back to our customer.
Wow. That's awesome. Now, real quick question. I know we're kind of running slow, out of time here. What's the time frame basically on the, let's say, the average thing that you do from the time you get it to the time you give a proposal? Is there like a time frame, or does it depend?
Sure.
I mean, obviously, like if there's a ton, it takes a long. Go ahead.
And really with spreadsheets and pivot tables, it doesn't matter the size of the account. It's just how long you hold down the button on the mouse, basically. But to answer your question, we can do an initial audit within a week and have that back to them. So then once they become a customer, then it takes us a week, maybe to 10 days to do the entire audit, cost reduction. And then we send that to the customer and recommend they send that to their wireless rep and get their blessing. And they're going to be very disappointed because they're going to have a write down in revenue for them. But still, they have to say, yeah, this is right. This is, and we've never had one that say, no, you need to keep paying too much. So it takes us about that long. And then typically the first bill cycle, they'll start seeing the savings.
That's amazing. And then we're paying our advisors based on savings, the percentage that we're getting commission wise on the savings, which is kind of nice, because obviously that's a win-win-win for everybody, because the more we can save,
yes,
the more beneficial it is to the actual client. And then that becomes more profitable. So it's like getting back money from people that were just almost stealing it because they were overcharging on stuff that they didn't need to be charging on. So that's fantastic. Rick, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I just think it's a very simple process for the rep, because the rep is just simply filling out the paperwork that connects them to the program, connects them to the potential client, to the rep, and then to the guys at SDS Wireless. And then we have a discovery call that we set up. And then Stephen, if you would talk about what the process is once that discovery call happens, because once we're past the discovery call, essentially the rep is kind of out of the way at that point, right?
That's correct. We'd like to set up a Zoom call with the potential customer and explain to them, basically, just as we're explaining here, exactly how our process works and make them very comfortable with it. And then we also offer them references and testimonials. And one thing they can count on, the reps can count on, it doesn't matter if they have a fairly large number of wireless devices, we're going to save every customer money every time. There's not going to be ever a dry well, because every single customer out there is being overcharged. And that's just a fact. And the wireless carriers are very good at generating revenue. We're very good at getting some of that revenue back to the customer.
That's awesome. That's obviously encompasses why this is such a good vertical for us to offer to reps, to our agents, our advisors, because they can go out with confidence knowing that they're offering some of the best cost reduction services we have out there. And you guys have pretty much nailed this. You guys have been doing this for quite some time. very, very successfully. So we're excited to have you on board. Rick, anything else kind of before we go?
Yeah, just when people are thinking about, hey, how big does a client have to be? Well, it's not just phones. It could be tablets. It could be any wireless device.
Absolutely.
You know, and so don't get stuck on it's just phones, because it isn't. And there's a wide variety of businesses. I mean, we're talking about several things in the healthcare space, whether it be trucking, dispatches, those kinds of things, all kinds of there's all kinds of applications. Basically, if someone's got 40 to 50 devices, they're paying a big enough bill that it's going to be worth auditing. And as Stephen and Earl have already brought to everybody's attention, everyone's being overcharged.
Absolutely. Well, Stephen, why don't you and Earl give me some closing remarks, and we'll wind this down. And then obviously anybody that wants more details, we can get them to them. But go ahead.
Well, I just want to say that the need to save money is huge for everyone. And to overpay your wireless carrier needlessly is just not necessary. So let us come in there, save the money, and build a relationship with that customer. And that is one of the things that we've done. I've actually had some of our customers make me the account manager, directly, where I can go into the account and make changes, because that's the level of trust that we've been able to develop with our customers.
That's awesome.
And from an old accountant's standpoint, not only do we have the savings of money, but cell phone bills or wireless bills have always been a problem for the accounting groups because they don't really know what they're looking at. They don't know how to verify if it's truly correct or not. And they generally just end up taking the shortcut of saying, well, it's about what it was last month, so that must be good enough. That really is a failure of internal control in a lot of ways. And with our reporting, they'll be able to document the fact that they've had a third party whose interest is in making sure that the bill's not just correct, but as small as possible, and that they won't have to spend a lot of time figuring out how to record it in the accounts. So from the old accountant standpoint, this is really a boon.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being on here. Really appreciate you taking time out of here. And then anybody watching this, if you're looking for a way to supplement your income without having to go get another job or quit your career, Bidpoint definitely has something to offer with the multiple verticals that we have. And we just introduced you to the wireless aspect through SDS Wireless Consulting, guys that have been doing this for years, doing it successfully, and really, really changing the face of how businesses save their money on services they're being overcharged on. So if you're interested, make sure you always go to bidpoint.co, set up a discovery call with Rick Moore, and he'll kind of walk you through some stuff, a little one-on-one with one of my co-owners, and get you set up. So thanks again, and we'll see you on the other side.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.